My name is Stephen Barmore. So, in the process of dying, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm not a morbid fellow, but just documenting some of what I've experienced and seen. In the process of dying, the body releases a very strong mixture of chemicals, adrenaline, endorphins, whatever. And given that, the human body, mind, kind of produces this big field of energy in which it participates, once it's given up on the ability to continue, ability to live, it has several choices, right? You can choose to just float up to quote unquote heaven and be happy and look down and say, hey, it was a good life. Or in the event where life was pulled from them, was taken from them, typically there's a fair amount of surprise, shock, rage, upset, anger. In those cases, what happens, and you'll see examples of this in houses and areas, and it's called a death shadow. And what it is, in the process of releasing the energy that represents that person, both in terms of the physical form and the cognitive or consciousness, it typically detaches from the body and rises up. Well, there are cases where in the act of rising up, it makes one final effort to leave a mark on the earth. And you'll see this in rundown hotels and shady, establishments. And if you look up from where a person was killed, you'll see a marking on the ceiling. It'll be something specific to them. Or you'll see it on the floor where they laid in their own pool of blood. Something specific to them, leaving their mark on the earth. Or pointing a finger at the killer. It's called a death shadow. You'll see a lot of it in the rundown places. Now, it's not like, somebody took out a pencil and drew it. You actually have to look for it. But if you get a before and after, you'll notice that it's there. Now, ideally, you don't want to go looking for this. This kind of a morbid kind of curiosity. But there's definitely areas in certain cities where if you took before and afters on every weekend, and not that you're going to hopefully push it along, but it's going to happen. Then you're going to get, somebody's going to get killed in one of these hotels. And to get a shot of the ceiling after it, you'll notice the difference. That shot. Basically leaving their mark, pointing the finger, whatever. It's a representation of the energy as it leaves the body with the mind, with the consciousness. You can be measured too. You can measure what happens in terms of energy output to a person when they die. Again, you're not going to go rush out and do that, but it's clearly there. And the reason why I mentioned that one is the next one. So if you happen to be a killer, you kill people, or you have killed people, or you kill numerous or multiple people, you end up getting this imprint from the person you've killed. You pick up this stamp, like an imprint on you, your soul, or a negative imprint. So what happens when that person dies? The killer dies. Well, in the act of dying, he leaves a mural. And it's unknown why. I don't know why, but he leaves a mural. At the top of the mural is him, kind of like proclaiming his greatness. And underneath him, you'll find all his victims. It's called the Death Mural. Basically, it's kind of the people from beyond the grave pointing their finger at the person who has taken them. These are kind of hard to find. They're clearly not something that a collector would want, although there's morbid people like that out there. And it represents a image of every person that person has killed, and he's there at the top grinning away, he or she. This is me. This is what I did. This is the imprint of every person I took. And they can be pointed out if you know what to look for. And you'd be surprised. If once somebody points them out, you'd be surprised at just how easy it is to see these things. Again, you'll typically find these things in the shadier locations on the face of this planet. Places that, you know, a hitter team would go. A hitter team, like a team of individuals who work together as a hit team. Places like Spawn would go, which is a well-known organization for quite some time, actually. What's the hell is it in Grecia? In Grecia, is it Velutra Mundo was being used by these guys for quite some time. So not only do you have the death shadow in the ceilings, somewhere in that hotel you'll find the Death Mural of all these individuals, probably. And these are, it's just, I'm not sure why this happens, not sure how it started occurring, but if you look, there they are. People who have been wrested from this earth by another individual and talking to us from beyond the grave. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd like to continue my research, and hopefully YouTube can find as informative. My name is Waddy. I think you heard me. Preceding audio and video cast is sole property of Stephen Watmore. It has been developed independent of any government, organization, business, or university learning institute. If you wish to use this information or discuss this information, please contact me, Stephen Watmore, via the comments of the YouTube playlist, and I'll be more than happy to discuss this with you. If you would like to make donations towards continued research in this area and other areas, please contact me via the comments list, and I'll be more than happy to accept them. My name is Waddy. Can you hear me?